Good afternoon, everyone. This is an awesome attendance. Very excited. We weren't quite sure how it was going to work out over here at Executive, but wanted to welcome everybody. And this is our August Focus on You Wellness Lecture Series. And I am one of the committee members of Focus on You. And I'm also the director of our NIH RNW Fitness Centers. We have one on main campus, one in Rockledge, and we also have one up in Baltimore. And before we get started, I noticed most of you signed in, so if you haven't done so on your way out, if you could just sign the attendance sheets. And importantly, too, also fill out the surveys on your way out. That would be a great help because we just give us a guide on what we're doing right, what we could improve on, and just to really get your feedback in general. And before I turn it over to Dr. Michael Donovan to introduce our speaker today, I'd like to remind you that our Focus on You series is really kicking into high gear. We're not only going to have lectures, but we're also going to add free fitness classes in as well, kind of under a Fitness for You category. And our first Fitness for You group exercise class is going to take place at the Clinical Center, and that's going to take place next Thursday, August 12th. And it's going to be from 1:15 to 2 p.m. in the 1 Southeast patio room. So if you're not familiar on how to get there, just stop at the reference desk and ask, and they'll point you in the right direction. And then over at our Rockledge Fitness Center at 6705 Rockledge Drive at our aerobic studio, we're going to hold a free yoga class starting at 1:15 and running to 2 p.m. on Tuesday, August 17th. So hopefully everyone's going to start taking advantage of not only the lectures, but also our free fitness classes. And without further ado, I'd like to introduce Dr. Michael Donovan. There's your little thing.
Thank you, Laura. My name is Michael Donovan, and I have the pleasure of introducing today's speaker, Megan Nikinicki. Megan is an expert on nutrition and health behavior change, and she's currently involved in battling the obesity crisis that we're all so aware of at both the local and a national level by delivering presentations just like the one you're going to hear today. She holds master's degrees in nutrition and exercise physiology from San Diego State University and a bachelor's degree in food marketing from St. Joe's University in Philadelphia. In addition, Megan has a personal commitment to living a healthy lifestyle and has transitioned into playing tennis and golf and competing in triathlons after serving as the captain of her university rowing team. Please join me in welcoming Megan to NIH and the Focus on You lecture.
Thank you, Michael, and welcome everyone to the lecture series. Like Michael said, I am Megan Nikinicki, and to start you off, I'm going to give you a little warm-up video to my presentation title. I don't know if they accept YouTube videos in here, so what that video is showing, it is a video put out by Subway. And if you have seen it as a commercial, it is employee workers, and every time they take a bite of an unhealthy meal, their buttons are popping on their pants. So it was just a video to show you the effect of eating 9 to 5, so during a workday from 9 a.m. to 5 o'clock, and to see the choices you make and how it's affecting your weight. So the title today is Work Making You Fat? 9 to 5 Nutrition Knowledge. And my background, like Michael said, is in nutrition and also exercise physiology. I am an athlete and really enjoy bringing a simple message of nutrition and health to mainstream media. So the outline for the presentation this afternoon, I'll begin with the 9 o'clock choices. So morning choices for breakfast, when you first get into the office or on the way to the office. Then I'll go into noon choices, so lunchtime hour, and I had a fun time exploring the Bethesda campus and looking at the different options that were offered on campus. And then lastly, I'll touch on the nodding off period of the day. So those of you that might know this, when energy levels dip and it's around 3, 4, 5 o'clock, and you just need to get through a few more hours of work.
I need to clip this.
Sure.
This is for me.
Thank you.
They won't be able to hear this because it's going directly to me.
Okay. So 9 o'clock. This can vary. Time is not of concern here. So many people think, you know, I might not be ready to eat at 9 o'clock, or I've already eaten at 7 o'clock. So this time may vary for each individual, but this time can be spent on your way to work, in the car, on the metro, or sitting at your desk. So it varies per person. So what I'm going to do with my presentation today is I went on campus and saw different options. So I've picked out an unhealthy option and will present that, and also a healthier alternative to that. All of these can be purchased on campus, and there are also things that can be brought from home. So please stop me if you have any questions or comments throughout. This is not formal, and I'd be open to any suggestions or questions you have. So this first breakfast idea came from building number 10. It's the Ubon Pond. It's in the beautiful windowed area, and it's a lovely seated area. So it's for someone that would be looking for something quick and on the go. And you stop in and pick up the carrot nut muffin, which actually has a healthy ring to it with the carrot and the nut in it. And also I've added in a large coffee with just 2 tablespoons of half and half, so a typical coffee size. And what that equates to is 600 calories to begin your day. So a breakfast that would look relatively small with just a small portion of a muffin and a coffee. An alternative to that, now I found this hidden in one of the corners of the cafeterias, and I thought this looked like the perfect display. In my background in food marketing, we'd call these N units, and this looked like such a healthy display to me. We have the bananas at the top. We have cereal options, which a lot of these are whole grain and they're nice portion controlled sizes. And also the milk over here on the side. So I have taken 1.5 cups of total cereal, which is a little bit more than one of these, 1/2 cup of skim milk, a large banana, and the same coffee. And when I totaled up the calories of that, 400. So 200 less, and you would feel like you're getting so much more for breakfast. This can also be brought from home or eaten at home. So these aren't things that are only found on the NIH campus. So some 9 o'clock tips to remember. Time it right for you. Not everybody eats at the exact same time. Sometimes people have a hard time. I always hear, well, I'm not hungry for breakfast. So you wait until you are hungry, and that might be 10 o'clock for you. Other people might get in a morning exercise and want to eat more around 7 o'clock. So that's fine. Make the time right for you, but make sure you do get in a breakfast. Set yourself up for success. What this means is we have, it's August, and those of you are going on family vacations. The first thing you do is put fuel in your vehicle before you leave the house. You don't wait until you're out of gas to find something on 95 and a place to stop. So set your day up for success. Also, some of you might be tempted to grab the donut at the conference room and then feel as if you've ruined your whole day. So think of something that makes you feel healthy in the morning. For me, that would be a plain yogurt with fresh fruit and granola. That makes me feel healthy and sets me up for a positive day along the way. Fuel forward. That's exactly what I just mentioned with the car analogy. Put the fuel in your body so you have it throughout the day. Don't wait until you're starving and willing to grab anything in your view. And create the right combination for breakfast. What was wrong with that muffin example is it's just a pure carbohydrate. No protein or fat to stick into your meal. So what the cereal did was it added the protein from the milk in the skim milk, also gave a fruit option in there as well. So try to combine at least 2 of the major nutrients, protein, fat, and carbohydrate, into your breakfast. So what about that noon hour? There's lots of choices, and that is when I was on the NIH campus and had the opportunity to observe visitors and employees all around the campus. I saw lots of different eating habits going on. So I ran into this lovely food court in one of the buildings, and this Austin Grill Express, it's one of the only ones in the country. There's very few of them, but you have one on NIH campus. So I just decided to pick one item off the menu, and it was this salad right here, the Bevo salad. It comes with a meat, so I picked steak. Comes with cheese, sour cream, pico de gallo, guacamole, and a cilantro lime vinaigrette dressing. They also give you a side of chips and salsa. So I took the salad. Some of you are smiling and laughing. Maybe you've had it before. So I've added those together, along with just a basic bottle of lemonade, which I saw on the stand right at the checkout. And I came up with the nutrient content of this. 1,400 calories. Now, some of you may not want to look at that, but all I did was go on, searched on Google, Austin Grill Express, found the menu, and found the calorie content. It's very simple to find. I found it within 2 minutes. And that would be your lunch for the day. So another option, the healthier option, and one I would suggest if you are looking for something more nutritious, something to control your waistline at work. So you have these lovely salad bars, and they are found in multiple cafeterias around campus. I would start with your basic vegetable up here at the top. So I've included lettuce, broccoli, carrots, tomatoes. You can include beets, anything that is pure vegetable with no fat added into it. So start with the vegetables, load up on those, make it look big so you're actually having a large lunch. Then I added in the protein sources. So a half a cup of beans, and I found those right down here. They'll give you protein and fiber and make you feel fuller longer. I've also added in 1 egg, so that's a lovely protein source. 2 tablespoons of a light dressing. You don't want your calories and fat to come from just a basic dressing. So this could be something light, like a honey vinaigrette, any light option that's on the salad bar. I've also included a carbohydrate, such as a whole grain roll with a side of butter. The butter is definitely portion controlled, since it is high in fat, 1 tablespoon. And some type of diet or low-calorie, zero-calorie drink. So a water, an iced tea. You don't want your calories to be coming from your drinks. You want it to come from your food. The American way now is that we do get a large amount of our calories from drinks and beverages. And studies have shown that it doesn't sustain hunger. And if you eat your calories, you tend to feel fuller longer. So this whole meal together equated to 600 calories. So we went from 1,400 with the Austin Grill Express to 600 with this make-your-own salad at the salad bar. So some of you might not visit the cafeterias and you bring lunch from home. It could be cheaper. It could be that you just like to make your own food or go to the grocery store. So I brought with me today some brown bag lunch ideas. The first one here I call the athlete. And like Michael said, I am a triathlete, so I see what most of the athletes eat. And I have a basic peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Peanut butter, jelly on whole grain bread. This also could be if you don't like peanut butter and jelly, and I heard that from someone commenting on my presentation. It could be, what was that? I know, I feel the same way. It could be turkey and Swiss. It could be roast beef. It could be tuna fish with a light mayonnaise or hummus mixed in. So it doesn't have to be peanut butter and jelly. Also in the bag is a banana. This could be any type of fruit. And also a small cup of low-fat yogurt. And add a drink, and you have a complete athletic meal with that brown bag idea. Then I have the Greek god and goddess brown bag idea. This starts with a hummus, which is made out of chickpeas. I have a whole grain roll and 2 bags of baby carrots. To make your lunch feel bigger, I would eat anything that's low in calorie, like these carrots or any type of vegetable like a pepper or a cucumber that you could dip into the hummus. Then I have my Tooth Fairy or Sweet Tooth lunch. For those of you that don't like a savory lunch and want more of something sweet, I have 1 cup of vanilla low-fat yogurt, a bag of granola, along with a piece of fruit. So that is my Tooth Fairy bag lunch. And the last one comes from my years spent in San Diego observing the eating habits around town. So this is called the San Diego Surfer. This one is a burrito, and this was just purchased at a grocery store such as Giant or a Whole Foods. What I like about this is it's portion controlled. It's not a huge burrito that you would be getting from, say, a Chipotle. The other idea, which you wouldn't be eating both of these at the same time, is this was just a lentil couscous soup where you would add water. The lentils will give you the fiber and the protein, and then the couscous is your carbohydrate. So one or the other, along with a fresh salsa and a whole grain chip. So that is my San Diego Surfer brown bag idea. So some of my noon tips, overall tips that you should understand about the noontime hour. Create your own game plan. The last thing you want to be doing is sitting at your desk and lunch rolls around and one of your coworkers just said, I'm ordering Chinese. Do you want Chinese? And you're like, oh, sure, I don't have anything to eat today. Know what you're going to eat ahead of time. Create a plan. Whether that's bringing something from home, knowing and setting the time aside to get your lunch, knowing where you're going, knowing what you're getting. If you always keep foods in your desk, making sure those are in your office on a Monday morning, and knowing that on a Friday you still have them in your office. The second one is move away from your computer. What a lot of people are doing now is eating their lunch in front of the computer. I know that you might not be able to leave your office, but the best thing to do is move away from your computer, even if it's for 5 minutes, and focus on what you're eating. So often, and even I find myself where I'm eating in front of my computer, the food is gone, and I felt like I didn't even eat a meal. Keep energy levels high. So for this one, I have 2 different examples. The first one is someone who skips lunch and then finds that their energy level drops, and they definitely hit that nod-off period at the end of the day. They just feel they don't have time for lunch, they don't have anything to eat for lunch, so their energy level is dropping. Then with that burrito example, so many times people eat a huge lunch and then wonder why they are sluggish and tired the rest of the day. Something high in fat, such as a large pasta with cream sauce, or a burrito, or large slices of pizza with cheese and meat on them, will cause you to be tired because your body is digesting those throughout the day. So when you're trying to get work done, your body is putting energy towards digesting a high-fat meal. So remember to keep energy levels high. So lastly, the nod-off period. This is the 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock period. Many people I see walking to Starbucks to get their caffeine boost. So I had the opportunity to look at the convenience stores around campus. And I must say, it is hard to choose healthy options in them, but I have some to display for you today. So the first unhealthy one, and this was similar to the things I observed while being on a college campus the past 3 years. These energy drinks have become very, very popular because they give you a boost of caffeine. So I've combined an energy drink, just a basic Red Bull, along with a bag of these Lay's sour cream and onion potato chips. So the total in that snack in the afternoon would be 400 calories. All you've had is a basic energy drink and a bag of chips. My healthy alternative would be one of these yogurts that I found in the cafeteria at lunch. So you'd have to think ahead and actually pick it up for lunch or find it in the convenience store, along with a Kashi granola bar, which I found in the convenience store. That also can be purchased and brought from home, along with a piece of fruit. So it's even similar to these bag lunch ideas. And that equates to 300 calories. So right there, those two different options, the one with the Lay's potato chips and this one, there's a difference of 100 calories. And also you feel like you're getting way more for a snack with this second option. And I also wanted to touch on the healthy vending program that the wellness department has spent a lot of hours on implementing, and those of you that might not even be aware of it. So these machines were in the process of being turned over. These are located on 4 different spots on your campus, and I'll show you where they are located. So these have partial healthy options in them because it was changing over, but you see some of the options here. You have 100-calorie packs, you have some baked chips, you have the Pirate's Booty up here, some Sun Chips. So as of July 12th, all the options in these machines are under 200 calories and are considered healthy options by the marketing group and the food service operator of these machines. I would suggest that you take one of these, if that is your only alternative, and pair it with some of the other options, a fruit, a vegetable, or a low-fat dairy, such as a cheese stick or a yogurt. So not just eating this alone. So on this sign, you see where the machines are located, and this is a pilot period only. So if they're not getting good use and the healthy options aren't being chosen, they'll probably be taking it away, but hopefully it will stay. Building 10B, Building 31, and Building 45 is where you'll find the healthy vending machines. So some basic tips off of nodding off time. The first one is change your thinking of a snack. Oftentimes we think of a snack as just picking up one thing, and it could be as small as just a banana, and thinking that is our snack. That's not going to get you through until dinner. I would recommend, and this is just a general number, anywhere between 200 and 300 calories. For those of you that are bigger and maybe exercising midday or in the afternoon, it would be even more than that. But a basic number would be anywhere between 200 and 300 calories. So take that thinking away of snack and almost turn it into second meal, second lunch. Energize your afternoon. Oftentimes after work we're running off to pick up kids, off to another organization we're involved in, off to a practice, or running our kids around to practices. Make sure you have enough energy to get you through until dinner hour. It's a large gap if you're not eating from noon until 7. And my last suggestion for the nodding off is pick 2. And this comes from picking 2, a carbohydrate and a fat, pairing those together, or carbohydrate and a protein such as cheese and crackers. Pick 2 so that you're getting the benefits of both. You would be starving if you just picked up the banana, like I said. That would be roughly around 300 calories to fuel you forward. So to reiterate what I've gone over from 9 to 5. Now, if you picked all of the unhealthy options between your work hours, the carrot muffin with the coffee, the salad from Austin Grill with the chips and the lemonade, and then you opted for the snack of the Red Bull and Lay's chips, that will total 2,400 calories at the end of your workday. So, in NIH fashion, I would give that a nutrition impeding health grade. The NIH of your day would be nutrition impeding health. So right now, this is the healthy one, and I already see double the amount of food on there. The total cereal with the banana and the coffee, the veggie salad that you created on your own, which involved and included the beans, the eggs, the low-fat or low-calorie dressing, the whole wheat roll with the butter, a diet or zero-calorie drink, such as a water or a lemonade or an iced tea, and then the snack with the yogurt, the peach, and the Kashi granola bar is 1,300 calories. This I gave a grade of Nutrition Initiating Health, NIH of your workday. Nutrition Initiating Health. So to answer that question I posed in the beginning, is work making you fat. The difference between those two meals was 1,300 calories per day, only in your workday. At the end of 1 year, you would be consuming 325,000 more calories per year. And if you don't really understand what that means, 93 pounds per year. So you might not choose one of those options, all three of those options, but just one of them would really make a difference in your weight at the end of 1 year, if it was done day in and day out. So I open the floor to any questions and hope you realize, is your NIH making you bigger than and heavier than you would like? Yes.
As far as drink options, thinking kind of a diet soda, that kind of thing. I've always, I know that people kind of push that, but I've also now been hearing some mixed things about a lot of the sweeteners like aspartame. So I don't know if you have any thoughts about that, if there's one to avoid or what's better as far as some of these sweeteners are concerned.
Right. That's a huge controversy in nutrition right now. And I would just say that I wouldn't be drinking 6 of them a day. If you can consume 1 a day, the research is mixed on it, and the long-term effects aren't known yet. But if you're addicted to it, I would say to cut back from it. But in this presentation, the focus is more on not getting your calories from your drinks. My number 1 drink option would be a water. That's what I would suggest, followed by a skim milk. But that's not really, adults aren't drinking glasses of skim milk like children are. So I would say to your question, 1 can of or 1 bottle of diet soda, if that's what you like, would not have lasting long-term negative effects. Yes?
I was wondering if you could tell me about the peanuts. Personally, I like peanuts. So I was wondering if somebody loves peanuts.
Here's my thing about peanuts. I think peanuts are great. They're a nice fat source, unsaturated fat. So we call it a healthier fat in nutrition. It's calorically dense, so in a small amount you have a lot of calories. And one thing I find with peanuts is you bring the can over to your desk and you're popping them in your mouth. Or you get the bag from Costco of almonds or trail mix and you're really unconsciously consuming them. So I think they're a wonderful addition to a meal. They have great nutrition attributes. But you have to be aware of the serving size you're consuming. That is a challenge. So what my recommendation would be is to pack it in a bag. So don't bring the whole huge bag to work. Pack it in a small Ziploc. Even maybe the first time you do it, count out how many they call a serving, if it's 12, and see what that looks like in 1 serving and try to stick to that. But it's also that thought of moving away from what's distracting you from thinking about what you're eating. So if you're doing it in front of a computer, you're doing it while reading a document or talking on the phone, you're really going to have no idea what you're consuming. Yes? Oh, geez. I'm sure. And the sodium from that would come from the steak, certainly, the dressing. I would say, so she's asking for the sodium content. The typical day you want between, and it depends on if you have high blood pressure or not, anywhere from 3,000 milligrams a day. I would say that would probably be double, 6,000 milligrams for the whole day of the unhealthy. And that is right around what the average American is getting in sodium. And that's why in this country we're working so hard to reduce the sodium in products, because that is probably the typical day of an American. So I'd say about 6,000 milligrams of sodium. Yes?
Okay, with the salad bars, you were in the clinical center. No one has a measuring cup or a measuring spoon. So, judgment-wise, when you're going, is it a large spoon scoop, or somewhere I read or heard like a fist is equal to,
1 cup.
so half a cup of beans would be half a fist.
Yes.
So,
It's not a very large serving, that's for sure. So what I would do first is take your plate and fill it with vegetables that are low in calories, typically 0 fat, and make that look big. Then add on the beans, which are also low in fat, high in fiber. Sometimes it's not a bad idea to get out your measuring cups in the house and see and remind yourself what a serving looks like. It is always a surprise to see what a 1/4 a cup looks like, what a 1/2 a cup looks like. It's not much at all. But like, one egg has about 90 calories in it. And those on that bar were actually cut up, so it's hard to see what would one egg look like.
You're also thinking about how much it weighs.
Right, based on price. And I didn't even go into that price on this presentation, but that's why you can make it at home if you have all the ingredients. And it's hard to stay on top of all those that are perishable ingredients.
And stay away from the pastas and all that at the salad bars.
Usually they're mixed with some type of mayonnaise or a fat that you don't even see. And that's not where I would opt for my calories to be coming when I'm eating a salad. So sometimes people are getting more calories from just a salad than they would be if they just picked up a burger and ate that. Probably would feel, more satisfied from the burger. Yes?
Do you know the suggested amount of calories per meal?
Well, that would depend on the size of the person and how many they need per day. Now, the USDA recommends, just a general ballpark, about 2,000 calories per person. So you can break that out into how you like to eat meals and where you like your largest meal to be, or if you like to divide them evenly and how many you eat per day. So this presentation was divided where the breakfast had about 400, the lunch had about 600, and the snack was 300. And also, we didn't even go into dinner hour, so your dinner would be in there too. But the typical person is anywhere roughly around 2,000 calories. Yes, sir.
I was going to say the advice that I've heard, especially since coming up with hiatal hernia, weightlifting, I guess, is eat like a king for breakfast, eat like a prince for lunch, and eat like a pauper for supper. Any comments?
I would think everyone is very unique in how they eat, and it's hard to tell someone to follow an exact plan and know their lifestyle. Some people really don't like to consume much at breakfast, and others, that is their largest meal of the day, like you said, the king. So it's very individualized for each person, and they have to make it work for themselves within their day and what their day looks like.
Some people lunch all day long.
Mm-hmm.
Every 10, 15 minutes, a handful of something. If the total calories are the same, is that a better strategy or a worse strategy than 3?
If the calories actually equaled the same amount at the end of the day, your weight would probably be stable if that's the amount of calories you need to stabilize your weight, if you're at a healthy weight. So I see no problem in that. I would find that challenging to always be consuming food throughout the day, but I'm sure people are like what they call a grazer and always eating and not really having a meal. But that would just be a preference.
So
Yes?
you said 2,000 calories is the normal or the average consumption per day.
That's what the average, and they're using an average weight and height of an individual. But everyone is unique based on their lifestyle. So how active is your day? Are you sitting at a desk and are sedentary for most of the day? Or do you have a job that requires you to do manual labor or physical, are you outside part of the day? And then also, if you're giving yourself 60 minutes or 30 minutes or 15 minutes of exercise. So all that would be factored in on how many calories you need per day for your body.
But let's pretend I take 2,000,
Mhm.
1,500. But if I want to lose,
Right.
and I sit for 8 hours in front of a computer and I exercise maybe, let's say, half an hour every other day, how much, an approximation should I
Right.
reduce?
So her question is, how do you lose weight? If her calories are 2,000, what do you do to reduce weight? And I would say you cut your calories each day by 500 calories. At the end of the week, that would be 1 pound. If you wanted to lose, even go at more of a gradual, you'd cut your calories by 250. So that would be, at the end of the day, if you did that for 7 days, you cut your calories down by 250. That would be a half a pound at the end of the week. If you cut your calories by 500 each day, that would be 1 pound at the end of the week. I wouldn't recommend any more weight loss than that for long-term sustained weight loss.
Do you have any advice for anyone who's an emotional eater? You know what I mean?
I do, and I think what I have learned through my career is journaling to see what it is, what types of situations are causing you to do that, and then trying to find some other outlet other than food. So if you find the real emotions that are causing you to eat, and then try to fill that with, like in the office it would be tough, but even getting up from your desk and walking the corridor of the floor, or going and doing something that is away from food and just letting that like 5 minutes pass and seeing if that would help. But number one is becoming aware of what emotions are causing the eating. A cup of water?
When you're emotional, you don't want to drink water.
Yes.
For the emotional eating, as for for anybody really, not having having better options around you is safer than just always having your stash of candy for when you don't feel good. We always seem to make provisions for when we know we're going to not feel good.
Right. So having
Better
having
options.
healthy choices on hand as opposed to the ones you would typically grab. That's a great suggestion.
I think, like when I come home from work, I'm so tired and stressed out. I just want to sit and put anything in my mouth. So I know it's having choices right there in front of you, but it's like I just want to chew.
It all depends on what you're chewing.
That's right. If you also find yourself starving at the end of the day when you get home from work, I would look to add more calories into those hours leading up to it. It's hard when you become starving to pick healthy options or to even make a sandwich. Sometimes you just grab the chips and you start eating them. So if you can look to try to put 100 calories somewhere into that lunch snack time, that would help you from getting home and being starving and picking just whatever is in sight. Any other questions for me? Yes.
What about physical activity? Like, how much physical activity do you recommend for someone who is either trying to lose weight or like prevent weight gain?
So her question is, how much physical activity do I recommend for someone that is looking to lose weight or prevent weight gain? And my answer to that is it depends on where you are right now. What are you doing now with physical activity? If it is nothing, I would say you start with 15 minutes and try to build that up to at least 30 minutes every day of the week. If you're already doing 30 minutes and you want to use physical activity as a means to weight loss, I'd bump that up to 45 minutes and probably try to get to an hour each day of the week if you're using that for weight loss. But it depends on where your baseline is, what you're starting at right now. So someone completely sedentary, I'd say, go out and see if you can walk a mile. And that would be better than doing nothing, and it would be a good starting place. Yes? Back to the peanuts?
Other nuts in general. You said they are the unsaturated fats. I think that's true if it's the raw nuts.
The walnuts?
But the question,
Raw.
the question if they're roasted. I think somehow processed. Usually they can, like peanuts, if you buy roasted in the bag, I think it says 20% fat than 9% saturated fat. So does that process
I don't know if it changes the saturation by roasting them. I know that sometimes they add more sodium into the nuts with the different processes. So the question over there about sodium, you do need to watch the sodium content versus a raw, and then however they fix the nut, whether it's roasted or some type of seasoning is put on the nut.
So you think the cookings, roasted, does not change the ancestral factors?
I wouldn't believe so, no. Thank you.